All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. And today, I want to do something different. I, well, based on what you see right now on your screen, I play Clash Royale. You know, here and there. No, definitely not. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Definitely not like 6,000 trophies or anything. I know that's not that much, but I've been playing this game since global launch, on and off again, obviously. Haven't been playing again recently. Haven't played it after like a year or so, probably more than that. Anyways, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video, as you can see, I'm making a tier list for every card. It's gonna be my personal opinion, obviously, and I'm gonna be ranking them based on how good that is, how good it is to level up, you know, all that good stuff. I'm gonna take basically everything into account. All these cards you see right here in the bottom tier, those are event cards. No longer exist. I never used them because when I quit playing the game, those came out. Never used them. So, you know, I'm also playing this the day after the new champion came out and the new evolution for the archers came out. So those are not on the tier list. I don't think any evolution are on the tier list, but I will account for the evolutions to show how good a card is. And yeah, if you want my tag for Clash Royale, it's R88GYLG. That is my profile if you want to check it out. I'll probably put it on the screen somewhere. Oh, wait, isn't there like a beta now for like Google Play on PCs? Yeah, we'll do that later. And yeah, let's just get right to it. I have Clash Royale on my phone just in case I need more information. But here we go. Let's start with the Valkyrie. Let's see, 4 elixir rare card, decent group damage, decent health. Well, not decent, above average health. Really good crowd control for ground troops. And for 4 elixir, that's a pretty good card. It could help with a lot of support. Like if you're trying to push a tower, Valkyrie is a good support. Valkyrie is also a good defense. Help takes down a bunch of smaller enemies if your opponent's trying to push as well. So Valkyrie, I'll put her in B tier. Hmm. I might need to do like a little bit of live editing on OBS. We are fine. We're fine. Okay, next up, Rascals. Was that 6 elixir common? Get a tank into attackers. Really good for defense if your opponent is trying to like do a push. I know I'm gonna sound like basic, like oh this. So I'm gonna pretend that you guys know what I'm trying to describe. 6 elixir, you get a wall basically, and then 2 troops defend as well. So like if your opponent puts down a P.E.K.K.A, or if your opponent puts down like a baby dragon or something, or anything like that, any like counter attack with a troop that doesn't attack buildings, then that would be good because then they'll target the rascal boy, and then the rascal girls could just take it out. And even then, if it's just like a building troop, like a troop that attacks only buildings, it is still good because then all 3 of them are going to attack that one troop. Of course, it does have some weaknesses where if you can bypass the boy and get to the girl, it's basically over with. But then again, if you do defend, you could counterattack, and you already have like a perfect setup for a counterattack. So Rascals, I think they'll go in probably C tier or so. Yeah, C tier. Hold up, just give me a second. Okay, I think that would be better. I think that's better. All right, Zap. Oh boy, Zap. Let's see here. What are Well, I think we should start off with the downsides first with Zap. There are none. A 2 elixir, uh, a stunning spell that does very good damage against smaller troops. What else can you say? Good for cycling, good for stalling. It's good for everything. Zap has basically no letdowns. It does its job and it does its job perfectly. So Zap has to be the first S tier. It's a common as well. Level that up really easily. Pump. Yikes. I don't know if I should. I'll change the tiers around if I need to. Yikes. Is it F tier though? How much is it? 6 elixir. Makes 8 if it's undisturbed. You get 2 elixir out of it. But then again, as soon as anything hits it, like any spell hits the pump, then that pump basically it's like an elixir sink instead of a pump. You lose elixir because a lot of spells like poison, fireball. I guess you would only use those. I get like any spell would just take out the pump. Like any usefulness you get out the pump. But then again, you could use that for like a spell bait. Like oh, take out the pump, and then I. But then again, pump is only good with like more expensive decks, and at that you don't want to lose the pump. So I would probably put it. Yeah, it's stay in F. Mortar. Let's see, how much is that? That's 6 elixir, right? Just give me a second. I'm pretty sure it's 6 elixir. It might be 5. Pretty sure it's 6 elixir. Just give me a second. I'm loading up Clash Royale as we speak. Here we go. Motor is 4 elixir. I guess no, Expo 6. Motor's 4. So mortar, it's one of two offensive buildings, that and Expo. It does splash damage. One benefit that mortar has over Expo is that well it's 4 elixir, it cycles faster. It's a common as well. Is that if your opponent puts down anything like Hog Rider, Golem Giant, anything that will attack the motor, the motor has like a circle where if anything's within that range, it won't attack it. So that's good because then it'll retarget to something else. I faced some good mortar decks in my day. Oh, I might need to clear my throat a lot more. I put it in C tier. Ooh, flying machine. That's 3 elixir rare. That makes sure. I haven't used some of these cards in a while since they first came out. Some of them. I need to drink some water. Oh no. Logging again. Uh, well, it has decent range, decent damage. It's like a flying musketeer. I'm pretty sure. What 3 elixir? It has less health though. Sorry about that. I had to cough. Flying machine. It's 4 elixir. Never mind. Let's see. 171 damage over the musketeers. Oh, okay, the musketeer does more damage, but I'm pretty sure the flying machine attacks faster. No, I know I shouldn't be comparing card to card, but that's basically what it is. The flying musketeer. 1.1. Once actually the musketeer shoots faster than the flying machine. I guess because it has longer range. The same range. I guess it's. So how would you ever? I guess because it's a flying enemy, it bypasses like any like ground troops. Like if you put down a skeleton army, obviously the musketeer loses, or like any like smaller troops like goblin gang and all that. But for a flying machine, not necessarily the deal because it's flying, and then some of those troops don't attack it. It's a really good defensive card, a really good offensive card once you counter push. So I would put this in B tier. Giant, a classic, a starting tank. I remember back in the day when Witch and Giant were the meta at the very low arenas when the game first launched. But now they moved Witch away from Giant. And now people won't know how to do the combo. Now new people won't know how to do beatdown decks. By the way, I'm a golem user. Yeah. Oh, I love beatdown decks. They're one of my favorite archetypes to play. And giant started it all. Good tank. Like just seeing it from where you get it at the beginning. A very good tank, very easy to level up at that point. Was it 5 elixir? Does some decent damage once it locks onto the tower, and can provide a decent wall for defense. So giant C tier. Now giant skeleton. This is where it gets interesting because last time I seen giant skeleton, it was bad, terrible. No one used it. But now, because it has a buff that makes it so that if it connects to the crown tower, that crown tower loses basically a third of its health. Like guaranteed, because once that bomb drops, it does more crown tower damage. I believe it's the only card that does that. Every other card that does like crown tower damage, it's reduced crown tower damage. So let's see, Giant Skeleton 6 elixir epic card. Is that our first epic card? Yes, it is. So it's a little harder to level up than the other cards we talked about. Let's see. Decent. It's a decent tank, but unlike the giant and other tanks, this one gets distracted by enemy troops. So if you put down like a skeleton army, then or like a goblin gang or goblins, spirit goblins, any smaller ground troop, I should say, because any air troops aren't gonna aggro it. Any like swarm troop, like what I just said, are gonna distract it. Or you could like put down an ice golem and make it move across the field. Uh, I would say that's a downside, but once again, the risk, the reward for the risk, I would say almost outweighs it. Not entirely, almost. So I would say giant skeleton is D tier. I'd say the top of C probably. Let me rearrange this real quick. That. I think that's good. Sorry, pump. Ooh, our first champion. So, like I said, I don't know much about champions. I've seen Mighty Miner. Mighty Miner's decent, at least from what I've seen. It basically does an Inferno Tower attack where it does more damage the longer it locks on. So it's a good anti-tank troop. Its ability, I forget. Is it how much elixir does it cost? Is it 4 elixir? I think it's 4 or 5. Probably. I'd be mad if it's 3. So, oh, by the way, I think I already said this. No, Little Prince and no, because it's not on the tier list. It barely came out, so I don't know anything about it. And no, Archer Evolution, because once again, it barely came out. Okay, Mighty Miner's 4 with a 1 elixir ability. Okay, 13-second cooldown. So its ability is basically it moves to the other side of the field once you activate the ability, and whenever it digs down, it leaves a bomb in its place. He leaves a bomb in its place, and that bomb does pretty decent damage, I would say. So it's a good, it's a mix-up card basically. Uh, like I said, I don't really know much about the champions. From what I've seen, it's pretty decent. You go in B tier. I should probably make a tier list of a tier of cards I don't know. B tier sounds fine for you. Phoenix. Now this is interesting. I've heard the stories. How broken Phoenix was when it first came out, along with the monk. But I've also heard that they nerfed it. I don't know how badly they nerfed it, or if it's still good. I mean, I guess if we can cycle to more and more Phoenixes, I guess it would be good still. Uh, like I said, I'm not really in the meta right now. I've only used one deck for like the past 4 years. It's crazy. If you see my profile, that's the deck I've been using since like I've got like the latest card that came out on my deck. I think that's Electro Dragon. Whoops, spoiled it. I have Electro Dragon Golem. But let's see. Phoenix. I don't really know where to put it. I think I'll just make a new tier. Uh, add tier above. I don't know. I guess I'll put you there. Yeah, because I at least fought a Mighty Miner before. Once. I wasn't expecting it, so I got destroyed. Yeah, so yeah, Phoenix is an I don't know. Okay, just making sure we can still see all the tiers. Good. I can always just zoom out if I need to. Okay, what's next? Archers. Now, I'm not going to count the evolution because the evolution just came out. I'm just going to count the archers as they are right now before the evolution. I believe they're 3 elixir. 3 elixir, decent range. You get them at the very beginning of the game. So they're like a really good starting defensive troop. So imagine this. Imagine this. Imagine Rascals without the boy. I think that's the best way to describe archers. Rascals without the boy. So they're a little more vulnerable than the rascals are. I think they have more health than the rascal girls. And they have more health than the rascal girls. And I believe they also do more damage. I think they might do more damage. No, they do less damage. Okay, okay. That's 3 elixir. Oh, rascals is 5 elixir, not 6. Yeah, it's still good there. Archers are 3. So for the cost of 2 more elixir, you get the boy. Archers. Once again, they're a pretty good early game card. Good for taking out air troops like minions, baby dragon if you know how to defend it. Like if you put giant archers is what the rascals were before rascals were a thing. Or like any tank archers. So I would probably put it'd be a shame to do it, but kind of have to D tier. I don't ever see archers used it. Like once you get to higher arenas, you get better cards. You never see archers unless you're like someone's doing like a cycle deck. You never really see archers ever. I need to zoom out a bit more. Ah, what happened? What the fuck happened? I'll be right back. Okay, so I don't know what happened, but alright, we're all back. Everything's saved. Bowler's next. Bowler. Is he 5 or 6 elixir? I think he's 5 last time I remember. Bowler. He does knockback to medium to light troops. Well, he basically kills most light troops. He's basically a walking log that doesn't push everything. Bowler is what is it? 5? It's 5 elixir. Okay. Downside, he only attacks ground troops. He has very decent health. So he's a really good like if someone's doing like a bridge spam or something like that, really good countered bridge spam. Because good tank just plows through any smaller troop on the ground, of course. Uh, let's see. I see him be used a little bit every now and then. Because I have Golem, that's not necessarily a big deal. I'll probably put him in. I guess D tier as well. I don't really see him be used that much. Oh, Wall Breakers. Now that's a card I personally never see, but have always seen the potential in. A very quick, building tower damage if it can get it like the backup. I'm thinking about this in beatdown. Like you put down the tank, you put down scout, wall breakers, you go ahead and you just do a lot of damage unless they have like a good counter. I believe arrows counter them. I think fireball counters them as well. Wall breakers. But still, that damage output that they do, and you get 2 of them, not just one. You get 2 of them. I'll put wall breakers probably. at an A tier. They seem like an A tier card to me. I know, like I said, these are my opinions, no one else's. Inferno Tower, my arch nemesis ever since before I had Electro Dragon. Now that I have Electro Dragon, kinda mid. Not gonna lie, kinda mid. Let me take a sip of water first before I go into it. Oh, there you go. That's the good stuff. Let's see. Not Electro Dragon. Inferno Tower. Pretty good against tanks. Like P.E.K.K.A, Boulder, Giant. Not Electro Giant, I guess, but, Giant. Giant Goblin. I forget Giant Goblin's a card. Inferno. Not Inferno Dragon. Lava Hound. Any tank it can take down. Unfortunately, it cost 5 elixir. Most tanks, you usually will get an elixir advantage, a very small one, though most tanks have stuff behind them. So after that tank goes down, you better have something prepared for those troops, because the Inferno Tower is not going to defend that. But Inferno Tower, like I said, really good against tanks. I'm a Golem user. Really, always terrified me using Golem, not knowing if they had Inferno Tower. Unfortunately, fortunately for me, I guess, but unfortunate for the card, no one really uses it. I mean, I haven't checked any of the stats, like a percentage, who uses what. I'm just going off by my experiences playing the game for 7 years. I would say you D tier, not F tier like Pump. Dart Goblin. Ooh. Here's an interesting card. Really good range, really good attack speed, really good damage. Well, excuse me. Not a lot of health because it's a smaller troop. 3 elixir, rare card. Pretty decent. Could take down a bunch of air troops from the back. A lot of range. Good defensive. Good offensive if you're using bridge spam because it does a bunch of damage. It doesn't have to get too close to the tower to actually start attacking it. Once again, not that much health. That really brings it down a little bit. Though, not too much. I'll probably put you in the top B tier. I really want skill. Wall breakers in A? How about this? There's a good compromise. Dark Goblin's A tier. Wall breakers on the top of B. I think that's a good compromise. Ooh, was that Gravestone? Because Tombstone's a spell, I'm pretty sure. Let me check. I think it is. I think it's actually Tombstone and Gravestone's a spell. I can see it right there. You're not gonna see it on the screen because OBS doesn't want to align properly. Why is it not recording the video? Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry about that. I guess you could just visualize me putting the cards there. I probably just take a screenshot of this, put that there, be like, whoops. Anyways, I will see how it goes in the video. I think it should be fine. Not too much. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the name. I think it is Tombstone. Yeah, Tombstone. I forgot how this works. I think it does 4 skeletons on death, 1 skeleton every 4 seconds for 30 seconds, 3 elixir. It's a really good for using, once again, if you're using like quick cycle decks. It's a really good way to thwart beatdowns, more or less. Move a tank away from your tower. Really good for that. And to boot, you get 4 skeletons when it gets destroyed, which is not what happened when the card first came out. When the card first came out, straight ass. Not really, no one used it, I guess. Unless you did like those weird buildings only decks, which I remember back in the day, gimmick decks were like the rage. Oh my god. I remember I had an all spells deck before they nerfed spell damage towers. I also remember having an all buildings deck until they nerfed buildings. So I guess you go right there. Battle Ram. Oh, I remember when this card first came out as well. Battle Ram does charge damage, so it targets buildings. After a little bit, it charges at them like the Prince. And then once it's destroyed, whether through you destroyed it or it hits its target, you get two barbarians. I think it's 4 elixir. I think it's 4 elixir for Battle Ram. I gotta keep reloading this crap. I think it's 3 or 4. I'm pretty sure it's 4. There's no way it's 3. That's 4 elixir. Okay, 4 elixir for decent pressure. Once again, it gets distracted by buildings because it is a building. It is a building targeting troop. But you get two barbarians afterwards, so you get also getting additional pressure after they destroyed it. But once again, if your opponent knows how to counter battle ram, they already know how to counter those barbarians, and barbarians aren't really the best troop out there. So I'd guess battle ram. There you go, above mortar. Now royal hogs. Now though that's a good pressure win condition. Gotta get my water. Warhogs, you can put them down in the middle of the bridge to jump over the bridge, two on each side. You already have a double push going. Unfortunately, it's not going to be at full strength, but you get to attack the towers twice as effectively. Really good. I think they're 4 elixir as well. Oh, I gotta check again. I forget the elixir for most cards. Oh, it didn't log me out. Let's go. I think it's. Oh no, it's 5 elixir, isn't it? It's 5 elixir for them. Oh, no wonder why you don't see royal hogs used that much anymore. Once again, it's like you get 4 of them that are attacking the building. They do a lot of damage. Unfortunately, very susceptible to being like splash damage. I would say they're pretty alright. Not the best, not the worst. Unfortunately, they're just not as good as Giant. I'd say Giant gives you more freedom with what you can do with it, more than the Royal Hogs. Because the Royal Hogs, like, sure, you can split them down to 2 lanes, but you're not going to get as effective as a push if you go down 2 lanes, because then your opponent can just focus down one lane, the other lane's gonna take a couple of damage. I'm thinking about this as a golem player, because sometimes as a golem player, you just gotta say, that's boo boo damage. You deal with one, you counter push on the other. Hunter. Ooh, Hunter. Hunter is a decent tank killer if you know where to put it. It does like I believe each pellet does like 75 damage base damage. I don't know if they buffed it or nerfed it. Either way, it doesn't matter because then it does 10 times whatever one pellet does if it's point blank. It has a spread, so if you're shooting enemies from afar, it's not going to really do much. But if you place it right on top of a tank, that damage is going to bleed. But like I said, unfortunately, it's a range card, so if you misplace it and the tank you're targeting moves away from it, it's gonna do less and less damage. So I would say Hunter. I think it's also 5 elixir and an epic card, so hard to level up. Hunter, you go in above Royal Hogs. Actually, archers, you go down here. Spear goblins. Oh, okay. Here we go. 2 elixir. I think it's 2 elixir. Or is it 3? I think it's 2 elixir for 3 spear goblins. I remember when spear goblins used to be like. They used to be attack once per second. They did alright damage because they attacked once per second. They had a good attack speed. Attacks per second. Yeah, 2 elixir. You get 3 of them. A decent range. 81 damage, really. Basically, they attack every 2 seconds. So I guess they're Not what they used to be, but still really good early game card for anti-air. Really good backup pressure if you're playing beatdowns. Really good if you're gonna use like cycle decks. You're also really good at anti-airs. Like I said, they're already good at anti-airs. I would put them. I mean, they do their job well. Others do the job better. Ooh, C or D. They're better than the hunter? No, not better. They're not better than archers. If I put archers in D, I have to put spirit goblins in D. Unfortunately. Ooh, was that bomber? Oh, okay. Bomber. Bomber is a weird card for me to rate. Because I remember when the game first came out, Bomber was just ass. No one used Bomber. There was already like you had Witch back then. People would always use Witch instead of Bomber. I mean, back in the day, Bomber did very little damage compared to what it does now. At least compared to what it does since I last remembered it. And it had very poor range for being a range troop, if I remember. But it did well against like swarms. It held its ground at least. But once again, it doesn't have that much health. But it's good for cycling. Like Bomber Hog Rider, I'm pretty sure was a thing. Uh can't think of where to put it. I can't no, it's not an F tier. It's a C. Actually, compared to how it was back then and how it is now, it's actually a lot better. Go an A tier. You go in B tier, man. Electro Dragon. Like I said, this is one of the cards I use, and I love it. 5 Elixir, epic card. I already know, hard to level up, hard to use. But it's basically an airborne Electro Wizard, is the best way to describe it. Counters, since I'm a Golem user, it counters Inferno Tower, Inferno Dragon. It stuns enemies, and then when they try to put more down, it stuns those enemies behind it. Unfortunately, what it can do is if you place a troop correct, it can chain into the King Tower. If you chain it between the Crown Tower, like the Princess Tower, troop in the middle, it can reach the King Tower, unfortunately, if you know how to place it correctly. I've seen some people do it. But once again, if like since I'm playing Golem or any beatdown deck in general, they place down that card, and then you see your opponent they place down a P.E.K.K.A or something or mini P.E.K.K.A, and then they place down a Inferno Dragon behind it. Rest assured that you will hit that Inferno Dragon. Or if like they put down like once again a mini P.E.K.K.A or an Inferno Tower. Rest assured that Inferno Tower will most likely get hit as well. So Electro Dragon for beatdown decks, but I can't really see it being used anywhere else other than beatdown. Ooh, that's the problem. I don't want to. I know it. It's good for me because I know how to use it. I use it for its intended purposes, but I see no other purpose for it. It doesn't cycle well. It's 5 Elixir. At least until like it doesn't cycle well enough to be like in a cycle deck. It has but you know what? One good thing about it, when Elixir Golem dropped and everyone said it was broken, not me. You wanna know why? Electro Dragon. It is the perfect counter to Elixir Golem. Sure, it's like Elixir Golem. How much does Elixir Golem cost? I believe it's 3. Doesn't matter how much. You put down 5 for 3, and then bam, you get like how much elixir you get? You get half an elixir when it splits once, half an elixir after it splits again, so that's already 1.5, and then 3.5. You get 3.5 elixir. You basically gain 1.5 elixir just for putting down one elixir, one electro dragon, and even then, it can also target the like anything behind that, or you could put like or you could wait for them to do an Elixir Golem push, put down your Electro Dragon. in between the Elixir Golem and the troops they place behind it. That's again, once again, a very niche thing that no one does anymore because Elixir Golem is ass. To the point where yesterday, not the day before yesterday, I disconnected from the battle. The opponent was using Elixir Golem P.E.K.K.A. Weird deck, I know. And I lost the tower. Luckily, I did put down my Electro Dragon before I got out. I logged out the battle by accident. Not by accident. The game crashed. My phone's not. It's really like an older phone, so it doesn't really handle Clash Royale that well. So and then I come back. Luckily, like I said, I put down that Electro Dragon, and it took down the Elixir Golem. No problem, because he only put down P.E.K.K.A behind it because at the 10 push, he had no more Elixir. And then I log back in, I win. It's that simple. It's that simple. Elixir Golem, but that's for the Elixir. That's like a thing for Elixir Golem. We're not on Elixir Golem. We're on Electro Dragon, and Electro Dragon is a perfect counter to. I think it's also Three Musketeers counter. It's a good Three Muskies counter. For 9, you get 5, and then like you have to obviously protect the Electro Dragon. I'm going too long on this. I'm gonna put this in. Unfortunately, D tier. There's obviously better cards to do its job. Electro Wizard, Zappies, Electro Giant, unfortunately. But for what it does, really good card. D or C? I want to put it in C. This is my tier list. Putting it in C. It also counters basically any charging troop. Ram Rider, Battle Ram, Prince, Dark Prince. I guess the newly evolved Royal Recruits. Oh, it will. Oh my god! It actually like really stops them. Oh, once again, Rascals stops those. It's really good against like beatdowns as well, because you also take down the troops behind it. There you go. Oh, Prince. Where do you get Prince now? That really pushes where the Prince goes on the tier list. Where do you unlock Prince? Where do you unlock Prince? Come on, load up, load up. Thank you. I have to scroll all the way down. Oh my. There you go. Just okay. Ooh, really? Get no epic cards anymore in the training camp? That sucks. So where do you unlock Prince? No. Oh my goodness, no. No, oh god, no. Oh no. Oh, he's not in Pekka's Playhouse. Royal Arena. Arena 7. I remember when that used to be like the top arena. Yikes. Oh, that really rings down Prince. 'Cause at that point you get like Skeleton Army, you get guards. You get bats at Builder's Workshop. I mean, I guess you get Zap already. You get Electro Spirit, Fire Spirit. You get Barbarians, Skeletons, Tombstone, Goblins. Oh yeah, no. Prince, unfortunately for you, pretty decent. If people know how to use you, you're pretty good. But because you get unlocked after so many counters, I remember Prince was good back in the day because it was one of the few epics you got. You got Witch, Prince, Baby Dragon, and I believe one more. I forget what. I think it was Goblin Barrel. You also got at a training arena. Back in my day. But oh my god, they really destroyed you by doing that. Like at that point, you're already gonna have a counter to Prince, not Dark Prince, but a counter to Prince. So that really brings it down. F tier. If it connects, it does good damage, but that it rarely connects. Like I never actually had a regular Prince connect to my tower in a long time. F tier, unfortunately. Clone. Ooh. It adds instant pressure to whatever push you're doing, but is countered by any spell except probably rocket. It countered by arrows. It's countered by poison, fireball, maybe zap if you wait enough and you place it down properly. But those clones only have 1 health. If your opponent does not have a spell to counter that, then that's good. Or any splash damage to counter that, that's good. But if they have even one counter to clone will never work. That is as unfortunate as it gets for a card. If your opponent has even a single counter on hand for a clone, it will never work. I guess you can use it to like bait out spells that you know your opponent has, but that's about it. Unfortunately, clone F tier, below Elixir Pump. Ooh, Royal Giant. Hate this card. Common, 6 elixir, easy to overlevel, bad for ladder players. Its evolution, it does splash damage when it shoots, only hitting ground troops, fortunately. But ridiculous range. I think it's the same range as Dark Goblin, probably a little less or a little more, I'm not too sure. Oh god, excuse me. Good health. Can destroy basically. An Inferno Tower is a non-issue more or less if you're using Royal Giant. An Inferno Dragon still is an issue, but Inferno Tower locks onto. I think it's like a tie. You get no elixir advantage, no elixir disadvantage. But like, it starts attacking the. As soon as it walks over the bridge and you have nothing to counter it, get ready to take like 1,000, like a third of your health on that Crown Tower. This would be another A tier. Goblin Gang. We haven't even talked about regular goblins yet, but we're gonna talk about Goblin Gang. Really good for 3 elixir, really good value. You get 3 regular goblins, 3 not dark goblins, spear goblins. Like I said, good pressure against any tank, like any like golem does decent damage because goblins attack really fast. They do decent damage. Good to distract against like any non-building targeting tank like P.E.K.K.A.s or like mini P.E.K.K.A. It's like it's 3 elixir. It's a good you get a good elixir advantage off of that. So I would say Goblin Gang probably. It does get countered by any splash damage though. That's unfortunate because it is a bunch of goblins. So Log can take it out. Zap can take out the spear goblins, not the regular goblins. Zap arrows take them both out. Poison takes them all out. Spear goblins are in D, but Goblin Gang is in B. Right there. Night Witch. Why? What did they do to her? Ah! Ah! Night Witch. Really good attack. She has the same range, melee range is a weird thing in Clash Royale. I should probably explain that. Not explain, but basically you get range based on your melee. She has the same range as the Prince. So basically, I've seen this happen before. My opponent's Valkyrie was attacking the Golem. My Night Witch was attacking the Valkyrie. My Night Witch outranged the Valkyrie. Valkyrie has good range. I'm not saying it doesn't. But that's one good thing. It spawns bats. Bats are more annoying to deal with than skeletons because they're air troops. They move really fast, and she spawns them every 2 of them every 5 seconds. And when she dies, fortunately they added this back because I remember when they removed it. She summons 1 bat. The one thing that made her legendary. When she dies, she summons bats. 1 bat. Now I understand 4 is too many. 2 kind of killed the card. I think you removed it. The card got even worse. I pick one? One? Go back to two! I don't care if you don't pick three. I don't care if you don't go back to four. But one? What's the point? As unfortunate as it is. God, I realize most of the cards I'm using. Let's see, Night Witch. Oh, Dragons and Sea, that's fine. Lumberjack. Ooh, now there's a solid card. That's a solid A tier card right there, I would say. 4 elixir, really good damage, drops a rage when it dies. Like, what more can you ask? What more can you ask? It does really good speed, really good damage. That's an A tier. That's an A tier card right there. Minion Horde. Ooh. 5 elixir Minion Horde. It's destroyed by any splash damage except its zap. Wizard takes it out pretty cleanly. Baby Dragon takes it out. And for an elixir advantage. Most spells take it out for an elixir advantage. Minion Horde is only used mostly, I believe, mostly in balloon decks. And even then, they barely use them anymore. You get 5 minions. It is a deal, because when you get regular minions, only spawn 3. Minion Horde spawns 5. So you gain the 1 elixir advantage off of that. But does it justify using them? Mega Minions are automatically better than Minion Horde. Like, way better. Good health, good damage for only 3 elixir. Minion Horde's good for, like, like, tank, I guess. But once again, if you're gonna put down a tank, if your opponent's putting down a tank, they're putting down something behind it. That Minion Horde's not really gonna do much. E tier. Mega Knight. Mega Knight. I remember when Mega Knight used to be broken. Quote unquote. People were just bad at the game. Mega Knight for me, at least for me, was a non-issue. I had Bats, I had Night Witch, I had Golem. What more do you need? Golem distracts it, Night Witch hits it, Bats kill it. Like, it's that simple. Inferno Dragon kills it. I know the jump deals a lot, but you could also distract it by putting down small troops. Like, make it jump close enough to where it won't jump again. I guess that's the main issue I have with Mega Knight. It does splash damage. It does the summoning damage. It does the jump damage. It has a lot of things going for it. For 7 elixir, too. Da, da, da. B tier. Mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the shittiest card of them all? It's you! I mean, let's see. Do the cards get a level boost when you mirror them? Obviously, this is dependent. This is based on tournament level standards. So if they go to level 12 for +1 elixir, it's still not that great. Still not that great. Like, you really can't do anything with a mirror. Let's see. Mirror, where is you? Mirror, question mark. So yeah, you do buff by 1 level. But 1 level is very different for every rarity. Like 1 level for common, that's nothing. 1 level for rare, a little better. 1 level for epic, really good. 1 level for legendaries, really good. Well, it doesn't say anything about. I guess you can't mirror champions. That's another bad side about mirror. Mirror's just not that good. F tier. Ice Golem. Now this. Ice Golem by itself, really good card. 3 elixir, slow down when it explodes. What else? It can lure away any tank, any non-building targeting tank, because it's the same speed as most of them. Like I've seen a lot of plays where you put down an Ice Golem, P.E.K.K.A. follows it back to the ends of the earth. It's basically a butterfly for P.E.K.K.A. But the one thing I personally have to thank Ice Golem for is its splash damage. When Golem, before Ice Golem came out, Golem's death damage only hit ground troops. Ice Golem came out, it hit ground and air troops. The devs were like, this is unfair. How can one Golem do air and ground and the other not? And so they buffed it. Now Golem does air damage. And I am so glad it does. The amount of times, I'm gonna go into Golem once we get to Golem. Focus on Ice Golem. Really good card. Is it S tier though? It's good. It's S tier. It's goaded. Unfortunately, I don't want to say it, but it's goaded. It's goaded with the sauce. Snowball. This joke of a spell. It does knock back. It does slow down. What else does it do? 2 elixir. That's about it. I don't really see many people use giant snowball nowadays. It first came out, no one used it. No one's using it now. At least in my opinion, I haven't seen many people play it. Snowball? I would say D tier right there. Freeze. Freeze has always been an interesting card where it's hard to nerf or buff. How much elixir is it? Is it 3 elixir or 4? I gotta check that out. Give me a second. Freeze, freeze, freeze. 4 elixir, okay. Freeze used to not do damage. I remember that. It used to do like no damage at all. Oh, I see now. I remember when Freeze first came out, it was absolutely busted because when you upgraded it, it increased the freeze duration, but it dealt no damage. Now the way that they're dealing with that is that it does damage, but the freeze duration stays the same 4 seconds. Was actually really good if you really need to take down a tower quickly. Like if you're doing, I remember a Hog Rider freeze used to be a thing back in the day. I don't know if it still is, but I know freeze is still a pretty good card. Because if your opponent has small troops taking down any big thing, wait for everything to be grouped up with the tower, freeze everything, you get instant damage. C tier. Royal Delivery. That's a card I haven't never seen used. Came out, no one ever used it. I don't know if anyone ever uses it still. Royal Delivery. Your rare card, I believe. Common card. Here we go. 3 elixir for 1 Royal Recruit when it spawns. Oh, is the Royal Recruit instant? The Royal Recruit's instant. It has no deploy time. Okay. That's pretty good. I believe you cannot place it on the opponent's side. It's one of the few spells you can't do that with. Like Log, Royal Delivery. What else? What else can you not? What other spells can you not put down on the opponent's side? I think that's the only one. That and, like I said, Log. I think those are the only 2 spells you can't put on the opponent's side. Yeah, okay. Royal Delivery is alright. Pretty decent. Good damage. I'm looking at the damage right now. Royal Recruit, once again, has a shield, so it's really good. It also does air damage. That buffs it up a little bit. Solid card. I'd put you in probably low B. The Knight. Classic card. The Knight. I would say if the kings weren't the picture of Clash Royale, the Knight would be. 3 elixir, decent tank. Oh, you know what it was? It wasn't giant archers that were the rascals back in the day. It was Archer's Knight. He gets one more elixir, but I believe you get better value, like more damage, more health, everything like that. The Knight's pretty good. It does good damage, and then its evolution is also pretty good. I believe it is it 2 cycle. I think it's 2 cycle evolution. And whenever I'm talking about the evolution right now, whenever it moves, it has an 80% damage reduction. But once it stops moving, it goes back to being a basic knight. So the knight, I would probably rank you for 3 elixir, common card, decent tank, good for cycling. Get A tier, my friend. Get A tier. Archer Queen. I'm be honest, never used her. Well, I mean, I have her unlocked, but I'll be honest. Uh, I get 5 elixir, pretty good attack speed, pretty good range, and her ability makes her invisible and shoot faster. I think she dies to lightning. So that's an elixir loss right there, lightning. Hard to say. Probably like a C tier card above the motor. Electro Giant. Ooh. Ooh. I believe it's 7 elixir. It has an area of effect where if something attacking it and it's in that effect, it gets stunned, which already makes it pretty broken. It does less crown damage, fortunately, from what I've seen. And it's basically an all around decent tank. Though, I'm gonna be honest, when I started, like I said, I'm an on and off again Clash Royale. Or Royaler, if you would say. Royale. But I never actually seen someone ever use Giant and I'm pretty sure barely anyone uses him. But the stuff he does get is pretty alright. Top of B. Lava Hound and Air Golem. You know Clash Royale? Lava Loon? That's a thing. Not Clash Royale. Clash of Clans. Lava Loon? That's still kind of a thing in Clash Royale. But unfortunately, Lava Hound, I don't think many people use Lava Hound anymore. Lava Hound, like, 7 elixir for a lot of health, and then when it dies, it turns into, like, was it 5 or 6 lava pups? Really good tank. Once again, taken down by any tank killers. But you don't really need to worry about that because that's its job. It dies. It does a lot more pressure that your opponent has to deal with. But if you time it right, you can use arrows the second it dies and kill the pups before they're even a problem. Mm, Lava Hound just. Nature. Minions. Ooh. Basic card. 3 elixir. You get 3 minions. Do air and ground damage. Pretty good tower. Not tower. It's a pretty good card. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty mid. It deserves mid. C tier. Nothing more to say. Goblin Drill. Be honest. Never really used this card. Never really seen people use this card either. But from what I did see, instant pressure. It's like a building you spawn on. It's a summoning building you put on your opponent's side. It summons goblins. What's the spawn rates? I want to see that. I want to see the spawn rates. Come on, yeah, get it. Load up, load up. The spawn rates for Goblin Drill 4 elixir 2. It is 3 goblins a second. Oh, also the spawn damage. Okay, so it's a building you can put basically anywhere for 4 elixir. Last Oh, it only lasts 9 seconds, so it will spawn. Let's see, how many is that? 3 times 9, 18 plus 2 on death. That would be 20. If unbothered, it will summon 20 goblins. Oh my goodness. Oh no, it summons one every 3 seconds. That's. Oh, never mind. It doesn't spawn 20, it spawns like 5. Never mind. Whoops, my math was way off. It spawns. I was thinking like, oh, it spawns 3. No, it's 3 seconds. So it spawns 1, 2, 3. If undisturbed, spawns 5. Which 5 goblins on their own is actually really hard to deal with. If they're already on your tower. Hence, Goblin Barrel. Spawns 3. Uh. 4 elixir? Uh. Oh, not enough. D2. There's a lot of mid cards in Clash Royale, unfortunately. Barbarian Hut. Go where you belong. Trash. Oh, that's this is like I said. This is my personal opinion. If you use Barbarian Hut, I don't know why you ever would though. Go for it, I guess. 7 elixir is already way too much for a building. Way too much for most troops to begin with. 7 elixir for how many? It's like the elixir pump or like any building, any spell basically counters it. But the problem with this spell, it costs 7 elixir. A rocket could take it out. A lightning could take it out, and you'll be losing elixir. And not only that, because it's a spawner, the less health it has, the less it spawns, the less value you get. I can't put it anywhere other than F. I can't. Graveyard. Graveyard. Now we're getting spicy. Instant pressure on your opponent's tower. Unless they have poison. Poison's a really good counter. Arrows after a bunch of them spawn, but that's the problem. You're gonna take a lot of damage after that. Any splash damage. It costs how much? 4 elixir? I think it's 4 or 3. I think it's 4. So most splash things like Valkyrie, you except like most of them, you get like an elixir advantage. But people use it with like beatdown. It's a good beatdown amplifier because you put down a tank, they can be focusing the tank. Then bam, they have skeletons already on their tower. Oh, excuse me. 29 fucking cards for the little prince in the shop? $25? Oh, by the way, I got a free prince, so lucky me. Oh, let's see here. What am I looking at? Tombstone, graveyard. I mean, 5 elixir. Oh, it's 5 elixir, not 4. Oh, that does diminish it a little bit. And also does this big thing where it announces where it is before it starts spawning skeletons. I mean, on their own, they could take down a tower if like nothing else is disturbing it. Spawn speed is 0.5 seconds. It's 1, 18, 19. It's 19 skeletons in total. Probably less because it announces it. But all in all, it's actually really good. A tier. Skeletons. That's an instant S. It's like what? One? Is it 1 elixir? It's 1 elixir. You get 4 skeletons. Good counter for a lot of stuff. Good cycling power. It's basically, if you want an example of what a good cycle card does, and that is skeletons. One low elixir cost, high value. Like it stops a lot of things. Elite barbs. That's just how I feel about them. Enough said. All right, fine. Elite barbarians. You get two elite barbarians. They're faster than regular barbarians. I believe they do double the damage as regular barbarians, and they double the attack speed. I remember when people used to make these their win condition, but now they got nerfed. They have less. I don't know how much health they have. Let's see. They're not that good. People overreact to them. They're like, oh no, oh my whole, the elite barbarians. No, I'm gonna lose, bro. Just like put down anything. Like, sure, you're gonna take. Like once again, I'm looking at this as a golem user. I'm used to just losing a tower sometimes, and just saving up for a golem. That's just how it is. But like, just put down anything, like Goblin Gang, Goblin, and literally anything, and you're gonna take damage on your tower, sure, or like they're gonna probably throw down a spell. But like 6 elixir, and then they had to use a spell. They're gonna be down on so much elixir after that. I don't think they're F tier. No, they're F tier. All right. Ooh, Expo. Pretty decent card. Attacks anything. Good health. Lasts for a little bit. Can be used for good defense as well. B tier. Regular barbarians. 5 elixir. You got 5 of them, I believe, so it's 1 elixir each. I don't even, let me check that out. Because I remember when it first came out, it used to be 4. I don't know how many it is now. It's all based on how much elixir you get from this. Let's see here. Barbarians are common. Here we go. 5 elixir for 5 of them. Pretty good, pretty good. I mean, they could destroy a tank. They could act as pressure, more or less, not instant pressure, but pressure. Your opponents to react to it. They die to most splash damage troops. Once again, instant pressure. D tier. I gotta reorganize the tier list. No. What's it look on OBS? I could really. I don't really mind if event is blocked off. They're event cards. Okay, what's next? Arrows. Arrows. Let me probably zoom out because I can't see the cards anymore. Oop. I think that's 50% zoom already. I think that is way better. Okay. I should have done this to begin with. Arrows, huh? I say that's an A tier spell. 3 elixir. Good range, good damage. I mean, what more can you ask for a good spell? And it's common too. Easy to level up. A tier. Not as good as Zap, but still an A tier. I'd say top of A. Lightning. How many cards you got left to go? Oh my goodness, we're almost there. I think we're like halfway, a little more than halfway. Oh, where's my precious golem? Is he at the bottom? He's at the bottom. Aww. Lightning spell hits 3 in the range. It hits 3 of the highest level, not highest level, highest HP in that area. We use it. If it doesn't kill it, I believe it does stun. Does really decent damage. Good for if you're trying to target specific troops. It's a good half counter, I would say, to beat down. It's not perfect because it's not going to take down the tank immediately, but it will take down some of its backup. But if your opponent's backing up their tank with smaller troops, like swarming troops, then it's not gonna do much. Really niche use. E tier. Barbarian Barrel. Ooh. Log. Like if log is like log 2.0, Barbarian Barrel is log 0.1. Like it's just, yeah, it does good damage, shorter range. Oh, I forgot Barbarian Barrel. You can't also put that in. You can't spawn that into your opponent's range. I mean, it's hard to rank it because log just does everything it does, but better. It pushes everything. Log pushes everything back. Barbarian Barrel doesn't. Barbarian Barrel does decent damage. It has less range in both ways. It's shorter and less range. It spawns a Barbarian, but that Barbarian is basically useless. I mean, it's good cycling, I guess. But you have log. Why would you ever use Barbarian Barrel? Just because it's an epic. If you don't have log, you have Barbarian Barrel, but like, yeah, no, I don't see much use for this card. D tier. Night Witch. Not Night Witch. Mother Witch. Like I said, I'm a golem user. I have gone through the calculations of whether I should use Mother Witch or not. The answer is never use Mother Witch. What? First off, I guess if your opponent is doing like spam, like cycle, Night Witch puts instant pressure on them. Because then all that pressure they're putting in goes right back to them. The only problem is, well, there's a couple of problems. Problem one, right? Uh, what was the first problem again? No splash damage, so it only does single target. This is not problem one. This is problem 0.5. It only does single target damage. The reason why that's bad is because if she locks on to a tank and you have nothing else, like nothing else trying to destroy the tank, she's basically useless. She's just gonna do damage, and I guess doing damage is good enough, but she's not gonna do anything afterwards. She's not a good defensive card. She's not a good. I guess she's a decent offensive. I mean, it makes no sense. If you're gonna get something that spawns, get something that spawns consistently, like Witch or Night Witch, or like buildings. But never, like, Night Witch is so inconsistent on how she spawns things. You're not gonna get consistent pressure. Obviously, it depends on what your opponent uses. If your opponent's using more beefier cards, not Night Witch, Mother Witch isn't really gonna do much in terms of giving you more pressure with their little zombie pigs. A lot of mid cards, but I would say not as bad as some of the others. B tier, C tier. I mean, not B tier. Baby Dragon, solid, solid card. You used to get it early on. When do you get it now? I'll put it in A still. I'll explain to you why later. But let me check what arena do you get Baby Dragon? Because I remember you get Baby Dragon when it first came out at the very beginning. It used to be one of 4 epics you can unlock at the very beginning. Where do you unlock Baby Dragon? Oh my god, you get Golem at Hog Mountain? Jesus. Pekka's Playhouse, Arena 6, so pretty early on. Compared to everything else. Oh my gosh. Just looking back at these arenas are giving me nostalgia. Alright, anyways, yeah, get it at was it Builder's Workshop? No, it was Pekka's Playhouse. Pekka's Playhouse is what? Hey man, Pekka's Playhouse is Arena 6? I remember it used to be Arena 5. That doesn't matter. Good splash damage, good health, Good elixir usage for elixir. It's overall a really good card. Like, there's never any deck. I guess if you're using cycle decks, you're not really going to use that because it's for elixir. But like, Baby Dragon can fit into basically anything. It's good defense. It's good support. It's obviously not gonna. It's not win condition, so it's not good offense, but it's good support. It's just a good card. A tier. Let's see what else. What else? Ice Wizard. Ooh, Ice Wizard. Hmm. That's also an A tier. Before, it used to not do the splash damage. It used to be the OG along with the princess legendary card. It doesn't do that much damage. What it does do is slow things down. And that is really important because it gives you more time to use to prepare defense. It also costs 3 elixir, which is really good. But I don't see the use case why you would ever use its splash damage. I've always seen Ice Wizard as a support. You want it in the back to slow down whatever's in front of it. If you put it right in the middle, it will die and you will lose its value. I mean, it depends on how much splash damage it does. If it could take down like goblins, like spear goblins, then it'll be alright, I guess. If it doesn't even do that, then don't put it in the middle of the fight. Let's see. Ice Wizard. Here we go. Ice Wizard. I should probably upgrade it. Oh, it's a pretty decent range. Already discussed this. It kills basically a lot of troops. Doesn't do much damage. Slows everything down. Okay, here we go. How much? What's the 83 spawn damage? Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't ever see a use case for. I don't know why they gave it that ability. It's not that good. I get like. I mean, yeah, unless you're fighting on the bridge, I guess you can see a use case for it. But that ability is just not needed. Ice Wizard's already good as it is. A tier. Royal Recruits. Yikes! I remember when it used to be called 6 elixir. I remember when they first came out, they broke everything. They had to emergency nerf Royal Recruits. That's how broken they were when they first came out. One of the only I believe it's the only troop you cannot spawn in the pocket. In case you don't know, the pocket is when you take that one princess tower, you have more room to spawn troops to put on more pressure. The pocket is the corner in between the other crown tower and the king tower. That's the pocket. But Royal Recruits, huh? Ooh. Ooh, Royal Recruits. I don't know, man. I mean, I guess their evolution does bring them up a bit. They lose their shield, they start charging. And I guess you get double pressure on both sides. Better pressure than the Royal Hogs. I think they're 7 elixir now. B tier. I want to move you up to B tier, but no, I have to be fair and honest. Fair and honest. Elixir Golem. I mean, I guess C tier. It's all right. 3 elixir helps you with. It's actually a good. What am I trying to say? It's a good tank because it's gonna split and split again. So any support you have behind it is gonna be really okay. You could actually just put that and then your actual win condition behind it. But like I said, a lot of splash damage can counter it. A lot of like swarm can counter it. I don't have to worry about it because I have Electro Dragon in my deck. Sip of water. Uh, yeah, C tier. It's not as good as it used to be, but still pretty good, I guess. Fisherman. Its hook brings in troops. I believe it also slows him down when he does that. And he has a fish slap. I don't really see fishermen used that much anymore. Wait a minute. Oh, is that an event lava hound? It's an event lava hound. There we go. Fixed it. I thought it was like two lava hounds. Like, huh, did they ever change the art for lava hound? No. They just made another lava hound. Okay. Fisherman. Pretty good for if you want to target, if you want to activate the king tower. Aside from that, nothing good. B tier. Yeah, I'm just making sure you can still see the tier list. Goblins, 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 goblins. Good card. B tier. So it's 3 elixir, I believe. 3 elixir. You get 4 goblins. They distract. They do damage. What more can you ask for? I'll be right back. I need to do something real quick. All right. Welcome back. Well, not welcome back. I didn't even leave. You guys don't even notice I was gone. Excuse me. Anyway, where were we? Pekka. Decent card. Good. Oh, a lot of people don't know it. Pekka's a tank killer. A good counter to beat down. If you know how to counterattack with it. Because with the Pekka, the problem is she gets distracted. You know, the whole advertisement Clash of Clans did, Supercell did with her chasing the butterfly across the field. That is exactly what she does. That's the reason why Ice Golem's in S tier. Pekka is easily distracted, unfortunately. It really destroys how you use her. C tier. Cannon Cart? Does anyone actually ever use Cannon Cart? Like, I guess it's like a mobile cannon, then becomes an actual cannon when it's destroyed. But like, no one, I don't ever see anyone use Cannon Cart because, like, sure you use it to like distract beatdowns more or less. Like, oh no, the troops destroyed it. If they already destroyed the cannon cart as a cart, they're gonna destroy the cannon cart when it's a cannon. Like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense to put cannon cart anywhere other than D. Ooh, a rocket. Small range, massive damage. Not as good as it used to be with taking out towers. But still can. If it, like your opponent only has 200 on the tower, sudden death, throw out a rocket, game. Still not that good. 6 elixir, no range, and it takes forever to deploy. Have you ever seen? Because spells do have a deploy time. It's like an unseen stat where it takes a while for them to travel across the field. At least like spells with the animations like that. Poison, lightning, freeze, rage. They don't have that problem. But arrows, royal delivery, zap also doesn't have that problem. Uh, snowball, any spell that you see move across the screen has a deploy time. As weird as that sounds. And Rocket has one of the worst deploy times. If you're trying to attack the enemy tower. Because I've had times where an opponent launches a rocket at my tower. I win because that rocket took like 2 seconds trying to get over to my tower. So, D tier. Oh, they're not royal guards anymore. They used to be royal guards when they first came out. Now they're just guards. Uh, unfortunate that they're epic. You get 3 of them with the shield. Shields are good because they reset an opponent's attack if they do like multiple attacks, like Inferno Dragon, Inferno Tower. They reset that. They can also like it's overkill proof. You know what I mean? If like they get hit by a fireball or rocket, the shield's gone, but they still have full health themselves. So it's basically technically 6 troops in one. If you want to count the shield as a troop. they're really good counters to a lot of like P.E.K.K.A.s, good counter to P.E.K.K.A, good counter to skeleton, giant skeleton, good counter to like Prince, especially dark Prince, counter to Inferno Dragon, good support with any beatdown if you're facing Inferno Dragon or Inferno Tower. 3 Elixir too? That's a solid A tier. Dark Knight, Dark Prince. Now that's a card right there. That's a card. 4 Elixir, so it already costs less than the normal Prince. Weird as that sounds, I'm pretty sure. Let me see this. Let me pull up the stats. I'm pretty sure it's 4 Elixir. Which that is crazy that's 4 Elixir. Like, it's just so much it's just so much better than the Prince. Like the 4 Elixir by itself already makes it way better than the Prince. Like that just takes it up like 3 tiers. I'm not gonna put it up 3 tiers. Like let's see here. 4 Elixir. Oh, it's not 4 Elixir. Oh, it's up here. It's on the boost. Yeah, 4 Elixir. It has a shield. It does splash damage. Like it does charge splash damage. Like it's a really good anti-spam card. Really good. So I'd have to put this in probably B tier right there. Goblin Barrel. Oops. Goblin Barrel. Goblin Barrel. Top of A. No complaints. 3 Elixir. Instant pressure on the opponent. Good for log bait. Good for spell bait. Good for swarms. Good for like not cycling, but like bridge spam. I guess it's also good for cycling. 3 Elixir. A pretty decent win condition because no matter what, if your opponent has a spell, there's not like log arrows. But more often than not, they're at least gonna do 1 damage. And I believe the Goblin Barrel itself does damage to the tower. I remember when it used to not do that, but now it does. So A tier. And I got blessed through these, but I like explaining them. Where's the Golden Knight? What? No Golden Knight? Oh, there he is. Alright, anyways, back to it. Princess. Now that's also a pretty good. That's an A tier right there. A tier, yeah. One of the only troops that can attack from across. Well, can let's say target from across the bridge, not attack, target. Because I think what was it? Magic Archer does that too. Well, we'll get to him later. So yeah, Princess 3 Elixir, no health, but good for cycling. Good like damage. And if you don't answer to her, she's obviously gonna take down a tower because she can hit without being hit. So pretty solid. Sparky. D tier. Massive damage. But 6 Elixir. It's already not that good. Not that good for cycling. If she is stunned, she resets her attack. If she is distracted, it takes 4 seconds for her to recharge. I'm saying her because that's what the game calls it. It's a her. Sparky is just not good. Not good. If it locks onto the tower, then yes. Really good. I remember there was a glitch where Sparky did like an instant double shot. I think they fixed it. That was funny because it shoots once, you put down troops because when it shoots, it pushes it back, so then you can like distract it before it shoots another one. But it shoots another one. Back in the day, But now that's gone because it's not intended. Sparky is just not good. Too much risk for reward. Executioner. I used Executioner for a while. Pretty good. Good defense. Like he's just a better wizard. Let's be real. He's just a better wizard. Wizard is already like not that good, but like execution is just what a wizard should have been. It hits it. Not only does it attack once, it comes back. It's a boomerang, baby. It comes back. So it does double damage basically. It pierces, so it goes through enemies. It always does its maximum range. Execution is really good. 5 elixir 2, a really good card. Unfortunately, he did get nerfed a lot, and then buffed again a lot. Right now, I think B tier. He's basically a Valkyrie that could target. It's a ranged Valkyrie, basically. Ice Spirit. That's an S tier, baby. That's an S tier. Ice Spirit. Notice how all the S tier cards have a low elixir cost? Like, come on, what's the deal with this? S tier. Wait, don't barbarians also have a? Oh, they do have an evolution. I forgot about that. It's like a rage evolution. Ah, it doesn't. It doesn't change where they're placed. Probably like there. That's about it. Am I missing any card that has an evolution? Skeletons. I mean, it doesn't matter. Oh, skeleton evolutions once again is busted. Once again, S tier. All right. Anyways, Electro Wizard, a living zap. You basically zap, but imagine zap if you placed it down and then another troop came out. It's not S tier, obviously, because it costs more elixir than zap. But it is high level. It stuns. It's basically the perfect counter to Sparky. So it's Electro Dragon, Zap, Lightning, Fireball, Log. Like, come on, Sparky. I should stop talking about Sparky. But Electro Wizard, really good card. No complaints here. Can do double damage if both of his lightnings hit the same target, but can also target two separate enemies. So really good. Good stuff. B tier. Mini P.E.K.K.A. I gotta say, this is a pretty average card. Good damage, good speed, gets distracted easily. 4 elixir rare. Yeah. Monk. What I heard, it is busted. I've never used a monk, so it's in an I don't know category. These actually, you want to know what's funny thing? These are the only cards I have not unlocked yet, so that's why they're the only ones in I don't know. I've unlocked every other card except those two. Goblin Hut. You belong in the trash as well. Probably like better than. Let me just readjust this. There we go. Yeah. Buildings. Most buildings are not that good. Goblin Hut included. It spawns spear goblins, and when it dies, spear goblins also spawn. Like 5 elixir, it's already more value than Barbarian Hut. Wizard. I'll say it's pretty bad. It does good splash. I'm not gonna say it doesn't. A 5 elixir, very little health. It's not that good. Not that good. Hog Rider, S tier. That's S tier. Hog Rider is just a good win condition. It's really fast, lots of damage, 4 elixir, good win condition. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Okay. Goblin Cage. I'll be honest. I never seen anyone use this card. So basically, it's a building meant to distract, obviously, troops. Now, once the building's destroyed, a goblin brute comes out and starts dealing damage, starts throwing hands. And that is about it. Uh, Good distraction, I guess. Here. Oh, here we go. That's an interesting card. Bomb Tower actually introduced the Bomb Tower to Clash of Clans. From Clash Royale to Clash of Clans, usually the other way around, but this is one of the ones where it went from Royale to Clash of Clans. A Bomb Tower. Bomb Tower is really good. Doesn't attack air, unfortunately, but it's really good ground support. And when it dies, it spawns a bomb. That does decent damage. A 5 elixir, though. C tier. Musketeer. Alright, this is a pretty average card. What would I put? What would I put Flying Machine? Where the hell is Flying Machine? Oh, Flying Machine's in B tier. Musketeer's in. I want to say A tier, honestly. I'll put her in solid B tier as well. Rage, 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 rage. Once again, I believe they changed it so it does more damage instead of more duration. Rage. Your troops get more speed basically. I forget how much more speed. So smaller range. I remember when it used to be massive range. It's smaller range now. It's 3 elixir too. Bottom C. Fireball. That's a good spell. That's an A tier. Good damage. Good crowd control. A tier. Miner is up next. Miner, you go into C tier. That's actually a pretty good place. Instant for 3 elixir, can be placed anywhere on the field. Instant pressure and a good support for like any like goblin barrel, graveyard, or like if you're gonna do a counter push and you want your troops to get there in time, you put down a miner so then the crown tower is distracted with it. Really, really good card. B tier. Here we go. Mega Minion. I'm gonna say that's A tier. Good damage. 3 elixir. Better than the regular minions, honestly. More damage. It's actually really good at taking out like bigger troops because it does a lot of damage. A lot more health than it takes a fireball to kill, I believe. I don't think arrows kill it. Fireball has to kill it minimum. Yeah, A tier's a good place for it. Ooh. Poison. I'll be real. People sleep on poison. I use poison since it used to be in Spell Valley. I don't know if it still is. But I remember when Poison, the game first came out, Poison slowed down troops by like what was it, 50%? I think that slowed down troops a lot. It also did very good damage. It lasted for 10 seconds instead of 8. Did less damage, but in the end, it equals out. It's the same amount of damage. It used to kill skeletons in 2 ticks instead of 1 now. But here's why people, I say, undervalue poison. It is an area of denial. AOD. You put down a poison, your opponent cannot put smaller troops anymore. It lasts 8 seconds. An 8-second bubble where your opponent cannot spam smaller cards. Or 8 seconds of them not being able to put any, like, if they put down a building, right? Like a furnace, goblin hut, barbarian hut. 8 seconds that spell is going to be doing damage to that tower. Not only that, but it's also gonna the timer for the building's also gonna go down. So it's doing basically double damage at that point. It does, I believe, more damage than the fireball for 4 elixir. That's already really good. They brought back the slowdown. It's not as much as it is, like 15% now. I think 35, 15. I don't know how much slowdown it does, but they brought back the slowdown, which is actually really good. And I mean, that's all I gotta say. Like, people need to use poison more. Please use poison more. You sleep on this spell. Like, people worry about. I'm not. It's not the top, but I'm gonna put it like right. People always worry about. Oh, they're spamming so many troops. They can't do anything. Like, as a beatdown player, they can put down a poison. What's like they have to now? They have to place everything away from that poison. 3 muskies, bottom of D. 9 elixir, not worth it. 3 musketeers, I guess you could deal with that. Fireball, poison, like a poison once again takes it out. Lightning takes it out. Like you get some. If you like, you could do anything you'd like. Do 3 musketeers, you will always gain an elixir advantage. Like that's just how it is. It's probably like better than Spark. Right there, right there. Bandit, solid card. What the? What was it off? Solid card. It does It does a dash attack. Good damage. Decent health. But whenever it dashes, it cannot be hit unless it's by an electric dragon. An electric dragon stuns a bandit mid dash, and I find that hilarious. It used to. I don't know if it still does, but I remember when Electro Dragon first came out, Bandit used to get stunned by Electro Dragon, and I find that funny. B tier. Skeleton Dragons. Just a worst, honestly, a worst baby dragon. C tier. It's like you get 2 of them, they have a lot less health. They're basically two skeleton baby dragons. They die in like I believe a fireball. I think arrows probably kill them. I don't think arrows kill them. Fireball definitely kills them. They have no health. It's honestly not that worth. I want to use because I want to experiment. I want to use skeleton dragon, see how they work out over baby dragon. But the problem is my baby dragon's level 14 and they're level like 11. So yikes. Uh, battle healer. Battle healer. Organize this a little bit. Where did I put battle? Battle healer B tier? Decent damage. Heals herself. Heals other things around her. She is technically a tank. Just not heal anything though. B tier. Furnace. Furnace, furnace, furnace. It's one of the few buildings, spawning building that's D tier. Because it spawns fire spirits. Fire spirits are actually pretty good. Like they're a walking wizard fireball. A lot of damage, a lot of spawn damage, and once they jump, that's it. They do damage. Yeah, D tier's good. 5 elixir, rare card, decent. Tesla. Ooh. Now this paired with a lot of stuff, really good defense for a lot of things. I think that's one of the few buildings here, top of B. Its uses are technically pretty niche. B tier. Also, it has a good ability where if it's not attacking, it goes underground and it's immune to all damage. Only when it's up. I think Earthquake might hit it. I don't know if it does, but speaking of Earthquake. C, B, C, B, C, B, C, B. C, I mean, C. It does slow down troops 50%, does more damage to buildings, which pretty niche use already. Uh, but the problem is, it's just not. Maybe elixir. I don't see a use case for it. Like, is it really that necessary? No. Bats. Bats are next. Solid B tier. 2 elixir. Decent damage. The evolution came out. I'm loving it. It can survive a zap with the evolution. I use bats just in case, Night Witch bats. I say they're a pretty good B tier. Not the top of B, I would say probably like they're pretty weak. I think they're weaker than skeletons, but they're basically in the air. They're good. 5 of them, good damage. Yeah, B tier. Fire spirit, not spirits. Spirit. There's only one now. I remember it used to be 3. A tier. What can I say? It's a good additional pressure. What was it 1 elixir? I think all the spirits are 1 elixir. Not as good as the ice spirit, because ice spirit freezes enemies for like a couple of seconds, but fire spirit does a lot of damage. So pretty good overall. Inferno Dragon. B or D? I think it's a C tier. Honestly, it's not that good. It's a walking Inferno Tower. Has all the same weaknesses as Inferno Tower. It gets swarmed. It gets overwhelmed. It dies. It gets stunned. It resets everything. It's just. It's better than the Inferno Tower. Where did I put Inferno Tower? I put Inferno Tower in D, so yeah, C is actually a good place for it. Magic Archer. Really, it's a weird card, the Magic Archer. Because it technically can hit the opponent's crown tower from across the bridge, but only if it's already targeting something else, because its arrows do pierce damage, and its max range is longer than its aggro range. But the problem is, if you know how to coerce the magic archer, I say magical, but it's magic archer, it can activate the king tower, and that's not something you really want. But it does do decent damage. It does fast damage. It's like, was it 3 elixir? I think it's 3 elixir. It's pretty good. B tier. Let's see, what are we at? You can't see the event cards, but they don't really matter. Oh, but I can't see the cards anymore. Eh. Oh, it happened again. It happened again. Okay, we're back. I just removed the entire event tier. It doesn't really matter. Sparkies, huh? Pretty good card. Does a lot of stun. Oh, here we go again. There you go. I don't know why it does that sometimes. Sparkies are on the mid. They do stun, so they're pretty good. They can't technically stun lock things. They used to be able to, but I don't think they can anymore. Well, they can stun lock the Sparky, that's for sure. Sparky and Sparkies. Are they called Sparkies? I think they are called Sparkies. That's kind of confusing. Let me check out their name real quick. I think they are called Sparkies, as weird as that is. Zappies, not Sparkies, Zappies. Whoops. That's a Sparky. These are Zappies. Once again, you get 3 of them. Good zap. They can technically not stun lock something, but like set it in place long enough where it basically can't move. Pretty alright. Heal Spirit. Oh, heal spell. Rest in peace. You were never good. You got replaced. Heal Spirit. It's B tier, honestly. It's not that good of a spirit. I mean, it's instant healing, but like it also does damage, not too much damage. It's not. It's. I mean, one elixir as well, so I guess it's decent. Okay, what's next? Balloon Parade. Balloon, kind of mid. Sure, it hits the tower. It hits the tower, it does a lot of damage, and it drops a bomb when it dies. But one, it doesn't have that much health. At least not as much health as you wish it would have. And two, its attack speed's kind of bad. So it's only gonna attack every like a second and a half, maybe. I think that's what it is. 5 elixir 2. It is good as a supporting win condition. Like if you already have like a tank, it goes good with whatever tank you have because it's gonna be targeting that tank and not the balloon. So C tier. Witch. Regular witch. Oh, poor night witch. Why are you in D tier? You should be better. Uh, Once again, I think witch is also C tier. Night witch. No, no, night witch. Anyways, yeah, spawns 4 skeletons around her. It used to be 3 in front of her, which is actually really good, but now it's 4 around her. Every 7, actually, it's every 7 seconds. You're not as good as Night Witch. Know your place, trash. Actually, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bump you up to C tier. Bump you up to C tier as well. Bump you down to D tier. I think that's actually how it goes. I think that's good. It does range damage, splash damage, skeletons, good distraction. I believe Night Witch has more health than Witch. Not too sure about that. This is pretty alright. Good for stopping Prince and other things charging at you. Doesn't have a death spawn, unfortunately. Ram Rider. Yikes. Uh. B tier. B tier. It's a B tier card. It's pretty alright. Hold up. Give me a second. Okay, that's better. I just removed the I don't know tier. They're gonna be right here. Phoenix and Monk. I haven't unlocked them. I don't know how they work. Well, I do know how they work, but I just don't know anything about them to actually rate them. What was I saying? Well, whatever happened, it happened already. It's where it belongs. Log. That's an A tier right there. That's an S tier right there. This 2 elixir spell. Kills basically any small ground troop there is. Pushes back any troop, no matter how heavy they are. And that's a pretty good spell. Okay, what's next? What's next? Royal Ghost. Royal Ghost, I believe that has to be a. Invisibility is really good though. 3 elixir 2. A tier. It's an A tier. It does splash damage, as surprising as that sound. It is invisible until it starts attacking. 3 elixir, good for cycling. A tier. Enough said. Golden Knight. Uh Charge ability is decent. Plows through like 10 enemies. Uh Good health, good damage. Can't really attack air troops. So C tier. You still see all the things? Still can. Good. Okay, how many more? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 more cards to go. Okay. Cannon. Solid defense. 3 elixir. Cycle into it. B tier. Firecracker. That's an A tier. Especially with its evolution. Uh what was it? 3 elixir, splash damage, and then does additional damage behind it. I'm trying to blast through these right now. Evolution. Every time it shoots, it leaves out area of denial, AOE, area of effect. Yeah, a pretty decent card. Goblin Giant. Don't really use this card much. C tier. There's better tanks that do basically the same job. And when it dies, it just drops two spear goblins. I say golems. Goblins, not that good. It attacks enemies while it's tanking. It's actually the fastest, like, tanky troop. It has a speed of medium instead of slow. Oh boy. Oh boy. It is the boy. B tier. I'll put an A, but it's B tier. Really, the highest HP of any card, the second highest elixir cost, but the rewards outweigh the risk. When it dies, it does splash damage. It does decent damage to the tower, but that's not the reason why you want the golem. People always use golem. They expect the golem to be a win condition. The golem is not a win condition. The golem, in essence, is support. Your win condition goes behind that golem. Everything behind that golem becomes your win condition. No matter what you put down. You put down Inferno Dragon behind that golem, that Inferno Dragon's your win condition. You put down Night Witch behind that golem, that Night Witch becomes your win condition. You put down anything behind that golem, that becomes your win condition, and that is your priority. Not the golem, whatever's behind it. That's how I play golem. I don't see golem as my win condition. I see everything behind it as a win condition. It has its weaknesses. It's very slow. It is the only troop with startup, which is actually a benefit because it costs 8 elixir. It gives you more time. Second highest elixir cost, 8 elixir, so you have to be, it's actually really like high skill. Like once you like you it's like a low skill like skill entry. Like just put it down, tank, bam. But if you really want to master Golem, it's like high skill ceiling. I'm not saying I'm good at the game, but I am saying I'm good at the game. It has a lot of counters like any tank killer, but like I said, don't focus on that Golem as your win condition. Everything behind it is your win condition. What I so the deck I use is since I already have them all there, I use Hog Rider, Baby Dragon, Electro Dragon, Bats, Goblin Gang, Night Witch, Poison. Uh, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm missing 2. Uh, Golem, Hog Rider, Baby Dragon, Electro Dragon, Bats, Goblin Gang, Night Witch, Poison. That is a spell. That is the deck I've used ever since Electro Dragon came out. Before that, I think I did Double Witch, Golem, and then I did Valkyrie instead of I did Valkyrie instead of Hog Rider, and then before that I did not Golem. I did Mini P.E.K.K.A instead of Hog Rider. But I've been using basically Beatdown. Like I've been using Giant Witch when that was the first thing, and then I unlocked Golem. I've been using Golem ever since I've unlocked it. So as much as I want to say Golem is an S tier, it is a B tier card. But yeah, let me just stop that rant right there. If you're gonna use Golem, don't treat it as your win condition. Okay, Skeleton Barrel. B tier. It dies easily, but when it explodes, it does damage. So it does take out like any smaller troops that were dealing with it for an elixir advantage. I believe it spawns like 10 skeletons, probably less than that. Oh, it's pretty decent. Good pressure. Electro Spirit. It's basically an Electro Dragon, 1 elixir, chains into 5, A tier. Tornado. That is an S tier card right there. Can suck in. It used to last like five. How it used to be like 5 second duration, but now it's only three, or not even three, like one probably. What's the duration? I don't even see duration on that. But either way, it pulls in any card towards the center, so you could actually like activate a king tower that way. Just be careful not to actually accidentally kill yourself with that. Because I've had games where they did the thing and they lost because they couldn't defend whatever was attacking the tower. Let's see, tornado. Here we go. Yeah, last 1 second now. It used to last like 3 seconds. Still a pretty decent card, S tier. What is it? I forget what your name is. It's like Skeleton King or something. Skeleton King. I was right. Look at that. Doesn't it actually? Weirdly enough, it does not do splash damage. You would expect it to do splash damage, but no, it does single target damage. Pretty sure. Let me just take a look at that. It does do splash damage. Okay, I was just making sure. I was trolling you guys. Okay, but basically, it's a good tank. It spawns in skeleton, so anytime it kills a troop, it's basically the Night Witch, not Night Witch, Mother Witch, but better because it actually does decent damage. It does splash damage. Unfortunately, it only targets ground. So, C tier. Skeleton Army, A tier. What was it? 3 elixir, you get like 20 skeletons. I think it's 19 actually. Yeah, they made a joke about them losing one. Like a pretty decent card. It's like an anti-tank card, basically. Good defense. Loses to like a lot of splat. Like I said, poison, arrows, like poison. Bam, they can't put skeleton army there because it's just gonna die instantly. And yeah. Oh wait, mortar also has evolution. Throws out a goblin. There you go. And I think with that, that is the tier list. Every card that is not event, I might as well put Phoenix. Phoenix probably B tier. Monk, I'll put it in A tier. I don't know if it's that broken anymore, but I'll put it in A tier. High A tier. People are gonna see this on the top of S tier and they'll be like, "This man uses Hog Cycle, unbelievable." Like, no, I don't. I use Golem. So, yeah, anyways, that's the tier list. This is like a long ass video. How long is it? 2 hours. Oh my goodness, 2 hours long. Well, yeah, we'll leave it at that. If you liked it, give a like. If you didn't, give this a like. And also, if you want to see more of this, let me know. You know, and yeah, see you guys in the next. Well, not in the next episode. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna throw this out on Wednesday, after the Mario Wonder episode on Wednesday. So yeah, well that'd be. I'm recording this on Tuesday, so it'll be tomorrow. So yeah, see you guys next time.